You're standing in the candy aisle at your local grocery store, reaching for what you think is chocolate, not knowing that recent investigations across America revealed disturbing facts about major chocolate brands.
We're back with a new study that might have you thinking twice about reaching for that sweet treat at the grocery store. Research shows that dark chocolate products sold at major retailers may contain high levels of heavy metal.
From products that can't legally be called chocolate in other countries to systematic ingredient fraud that's been happening for decades, your sweet tooth might be getting something completely different than what you paid for. That's why we conducted a full investigation to expose the 6 chocolate brands sold in America that you need to avoid at all costs, uncovering the deceptive practices, fake ingredients, and misleading labels that these companies use to fool millions of consumers every single day. Starting with the most shocking deception of them all, we're diving into an industry crisis that's been brewing for years while you've been none the wiser. Cacao prices have shot up 250% over the past 3 years, forcing manufacturers to make a choice. Raise prices or cut corners. Guess which one they chose. The result is a 2-tier market where you unknowingly purchase products that can no longer legally be called chocolate in countries with stricter food standards. Yet here in America, these same products sit on shelves with chocolate branding that deliberately misleads consumers. Here's what's actually happening behind those familiar wrappers. Major food corporations have quietly reformulated their products to include more vegetable oils, artificial sugars, and chemical fillers while reducing actual chocolate content to the absolute legal minimum. To classify a product as chocolate in the United Kingdom requires at least 20 to 25% cocoa content. In America, that number drops to just 10%. This fundamental difference means that products Americans consume as chocolate would be illegal to market as chocolate across much of Europe. The economic pressure has created something even more sinister than just reduced quality. Companies don't just quietly reduce cocoa content. They swap entire ingredient profiles, redefine product categories, and manipulate labeling terminology, all while keeping packaging familiar enough that most consumers never notice the deception. When real ingredients become expensive, food manufacturers have perfected the art of ingredient substitution without consumer awareness. But this goes deeper than just cost-cutting. We're talking about systematic fraud that puts corporate profits ahead of consumer trust and food safety. When companies replace cocoa butter with hydrogenated vegetable oils, when they substitute artificial flavoring for real chocolate, when they market sugar compounds as premium chocolate experiences, they're not just cutting costs. They're fundamentally changing what chocolate means while charging you the same prices for inferior products. Number 1 on our list represents perhaps the most egregious example of fake chocolate manufacturing in America. R.M. Palmer produces what they call chocolatey candy because federal regulations won't allow them to call their products chocolate. Their romantic heart-shaped candies that flood stores every Valentine's Day contain exactly one ingredient used in actual chocolate production: cocoa processed with alkali. Everything else is artificial. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment: sugar, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil from palm kernel, soybean and cottonseed, whey, crisp rice, lactose, skim milk, soy lecithin, vanillin, and artificial colors. Notice what's completely absent: cocoa butter, the essential component that makes chocolate actually chocolate. Palmer's products are essentially sugar and oil compounds with artificial chocolate flavoring designed to mimic the real thing. Dollar Tree stores, which sell millions of Palmer products annually, carefully describe them as chocolatey rather than chocolate. Double crisp foil-wrapped chocolatey hearts for Valentine's Day. Double crisp chocolatey coal at Christmas. The word choice isn't accidental. It's legal protection against false advertising claims while maintaining consumer confusion about what they're actually purchasing. This deception extends beyond just ingredients to corporate negligence that has deadly consequences. In 2023, Palmer's Pennsylvania chocolate factory exploded, killing 7 workers and injuring 10 more. According to witness accounts, workers reported smelling natural gas and alerted their manager. The manager dismissed their complaints, stating that only someone with higher authority could order an evacuation. That evacuation order never came. Workers returned to their shifts before the factory exploded. This tragic incident highlights how companies that cut corners on ingredient quality often reflect broader operational negligence. When a manufacturer won't invest in real chocolate ingredients, why would they prioritize worker safety or proper facility maintenance? Palmer's willingness to substitute fake ingredients mirrors their approach to workplace safety, with devastating human consequences. Number 2 brings us to some of America's most beloved candy bars that technically contain chocolate, but systematically dilute it with cheaper substitutes. Butterfinger, owned by Ferrero and formerly Nestlé, represents compound chocolate being marketed as chocolate. To consumers who don't understand the fundamental difference between real chocolate and chocolate-flavored coatings. Marketed as crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery, but never actually marketed as chocolate. Butterfinger's coating contains corn syrup, vegetable oil, milk, and cocoa, but fails to meet federal standards for being classified as real chocolate. The coating tastes chocolatey because it's chemically engineered to mimic chocolate flavor while using the cheapest possible ingredients to achieve that taste profile. Mars Corporation, producing Three Musketeers, Milky Way, Snickers, and Twix, systematically uses palm oil and other vegetable oils to replace expensive cocoa butter throughout their product lines. While their candy bars technically contain some cocoa butter in the outer chocolate coating, the extensive use of palm oil in centers and fillings demonstrates how manufacturers dilute real chocolate content with cheaper substitutes. Three Musketeers ingredients reveal this deception clearly. The milk chocolate coating lists sugar, chocolate, cocoa butter, skim milk, lactose, milk fat, and soy lecithin. But the candy bar's center contains corn syrup, sugar, palm oil, and cocoa powder processed with alkali. You're getting a thin layer of real chocolate surrounding a core of sugar and vegetable oil designed to provide bulk and sweetness at minimum cost. Consumer complaints have mounted in recent years about declining quality and increasingly artificial taste in these once-beloved American candy bars. Many note a waxy, oily mouthfeel characteristic of products heavy in vegetable oils rather than cocoa butter. The chocolate coating on Three Musketeers is notably thin, melts easily in your hands, and gets overpowered by the artificially sweetened nougat center. Milky Way follows identical patterns, with corn syrup and palm oil dominating the ingredient list after the thin chocolate coating. Twix adds enriched wheat flour and modified cornstarch to create texture while minimizing actual chocolate content. These aren't chocolate bars in any meaningful sense. They're sugar and oil confections with minimal chocolate coating designed to justify chocolate branding and premium pricing. The systematic nature of this deception across Mars products reveals corporate strategy rather than accidental ingredient choices. When every product in a company's portfolio follows identical cost-cutting patterns, substituting expensive cocoa butter with cheap vegetable oils, you're looking at deliberate consumer manipulation rather than market forces beyond corporate control. Number 3 represents one of the world's largest food companies engaging in systematic white chocolate fraud that has led to multiple class action lawsuits and regulatory scrutiny. Nestlé has been caught marketing fake white chocolate products while deliberately misleading consumers through packaging and labeling that suggests authentic white chocolate content. According to recent class action lawsuits, Nestlé's white chocolate chips contain no white chocolate, cocoa butter, cocoa fat, or any cocoa derivatives whatsoever. The ingredient list includes sugar, palm kernel oil, milk, non-fat milk, hydrogenated palm oil, soy lecithin, and natural flavor. These are white-colored sugar and oil compounds with artificial flavoring, not white chocolate by any legal or culinary definition. The company's deceptive practices extend far beyond white chocolate into their core product lines, where they systematically replace cocoa butter with palm oil and other vegetable oils across their entire chocolate portfolio. This isn't accidental reformulation due to supply chain issues. This is deliberate ingredient fraud designed to maximize profit margins while maintaining consumer trust through familiar branding. In the United Kingdom, food standards require products to contain at least 20% cocoa solids to carry the milk chocolate label. By increasing the ratio of palm, shea, and coconut oils, Nestlé's reformulated recipes deliberately fall below this regulatory threshold. While the company claims these changes were carefully developed and sensory tested, The shift represents a fundamental downgrade in ingredient quality that transforms chocolate into chocolate-flavored edible oil compounds. A Nestlé spokesperson defended these reformulations by citing economic reality. We've seen significant increases in the cost of cocoa over the past years, making it much more expensive to manufacture our products. We continue to be more efficient and absorb increasing costs where possible. Translation: they're passing inferior products to consumers while maintaining premium pricing and profit margins. The ingredient list for Nestlé's Butterfinger coating reveals the extent of this deception. The candy contains cocoa, but completely lacks cocoa butter, relying instead on vegetable oils to create texture and mouthfeel. You're not eating chocolate coating. You're eating artificially flavored oil compounds designed to mimic chocolate while costing a fraction to produce. What makes this particularly insulting is Nestlé's market position as a chocolate authority. When a company known globally for chocolate expertise deliberately manufactures fake white chocolate and systematically reduces cocoa content across product lines, they're leveraging consumer trust built over decades to sell fundamentally different products at chocolate prices. Number 4 brings us to America's largest chocolate manufacturer, which occupies a uniquely deceptive position in this crisis. Hershey's maintains some authentic chocolate products while systematically reformulating secondary items and actively lobbying to weaken federal chocolate standards to accommodate cheaper ingredients. Products including Whatchamacallit, Milk Duds, Mr. Goodbar, and Crackle no longer contain milk chocolate coatings, despite chocolate branding that suggests otherwise. Hershey's Kissables are now labeled chocolate candy instead of milk chocolate, a seemingly minor change that reflects major ingredient substitutions designed to avoid regulatory violations while maintaining consumer confusion. The company's lobbying efforts reveal their long-term strategy. Industry groups led by Hershey's have repeatedly petitioned the FDA to change federal chocolate definitions, specifically requesting permission to replace cocoa butter with vegetable oils in products labeled as chocolate. A Hershey spokesman defended this position by claiming there are high-quality oils available which are equal to or better than cocoa butter in taste, nutrition, texture, and function, and are preferred by consumers. This statement represents corporate gaslighting at its finest. Vegetable oils are neither equal to nor better than cocoa butter in any meaningful measure, except cost. The claim that consumers prefer vegetable oil to cocoa butter contradicts decades of culinary tradition and consumer preference data. What consumers actually prefer is lower prices, which companies achieve through ingredient substitution rather than manufacturing efficiency. Hershey's syrup demonstrates this deceptive labeling strategy perfectly. The label reads genuine chocolate flavor instead of chocolate syrup, because the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, followed by corn syrup, water, and finally cocoa. You're buying corn syrup with chocolate flavoring, not chocolate in any recognizable form. Many chocolate enthusiasts report significant quality decline in Hershey's products over recent decades, noting increasingly waxy or artificial taste compared to European chocolates. This reflects the company's systematic reformulation philosophy that prioritizes shelf stability and profit margins over chocolate authenticity. While Hershey's core chocolate bars still technically contain cocoa butter, their willingness to lobby for reduced chocolate standards and systematic reformulation of secondary products demonstrates corporate values that prioritize economic considerations over authentic chocolate production. Consumer testing consistently reveals that Hershey's chocolate exhibits distinctive waxy or artificial characteristics, partly due to processing methods but primarily reflecting manufacturing philosophy focused on creating shelf-stable products that maximize profitability rather than chocolate quality. When America's Chocolate Authority actively works to weaken chocolate standards while systematically replacing chocolate ingredients across product lines, you're witnessing industry capture of regulatory processes designed to protect consumers. Number 5 represents perhaps the most cynical deception on our list because it involves premium pricing for fundamentally inferior products marketed through Swiss heritage and luxury branding. Lindt leverages consumer assumptions about Swiss chocolate quality to sell sugar-heavy confections that prioritize sweetness over authentic chocolate content, while charging luxury prices for candy bar formulations. Despite premium positioning and master chocolatier branding, Ingredient analysis reveals that Lindt's top-shelf products list sugar as the primary ingredient, making their bars more candy than authentic chocolate. This directly contradicts their marketing messaging about Swiss chocolate tradition and artisanal production methods that justify premium pricing structures. The company's 50% dark cocoa claim emblazoned across wrapper fronts becomes meaningless when sugar dominates the actual ingredient list. When sugar or corn syrup appears first on ingredient labels, you're purchasing confectionery products regardless of cocoa percentage claims or premium branding messages. Among chocolate connoisseurs, Lindt represents overpriced sugar marketed through Swiss heritage rather than authentic chocolate craftsmanship. This deception proves particularly egregious because Lindt explicitly targets consumers willing to pay premium prices for superior chocolate experiences. They leverage Swiss manufacturing heritage, master chocolatier branding, and luxury retail placement to justify pricing that can be 3 to 5 times higher than mass-market alternatives. Yet ingredient analysis reveals formulations fundamentally similar to lower-priced candy bars, with sugar dominating cocoa content and artificial additives replacing traditional chocolate ingredients. The systematic nature of this premium fraud reveals how chocolate marketing has become completely disconnected from chocolate reality. Companies have discovered they can charge luxury prices through branding and packaging while delivering candy bar formulations that cost pennies to produce. Swiss heritage becomes a marketing tool rather than quality guarantee, and master chocolatier claims become meaningless when products contain more sugar than chocolate. What makes Lindt's deception particularly insulting is the deliberate targeting of informed consumers who specifically seek authentic chocolate experiences. These aren't impulse purchases by uninformed buyers. These are deliberate choices by consumers willing to pay premium prices for superior products, only to receive sugar confections marketed through heritage branding and luxury positioning. Number 6 rounds out our investigation with systematic industry practices that affect virtually every major chocolate manufacturer operating in American markets. The scale of ingredient fraud extends beyond individual companies to represent fundamental shifts in how the entire chocolate industry approaches product development, ingredient sourcing, and consumer communication. The widespread adoption of compound chocolate represents the final nail in authentic chocolate's coffin. Compound chocolate uses vegetable fats instead of cocoa butter, creating products that look and somewhat taste like chocolate while containing minimal actual chocolate content. This isn't accidental ingredient substitution due to supply constraints. This is systematic industry transformation designed to maximize profit margins while maintaining consumer confusion about what chocolate actually means. Food manufacturers have perfected the art of legal deception through carefully crafted terminology that misleads consumers while avoiding regulatory violations. Products labeled chocolate-flavored coating, chocolatey, or chocolate candy exist specifically to circumvent federal chocolate standards while maintaining chocolate associations in consumer minds. These aren't honest alternatives clearly marketed as chocolate substitutes. These are deliberate attempts to blur the line between real chocolate and artificially flavored compounds. The cocoa butter substitution crisis affects texture, flavor, and nutritional content in ways most consumers never recognize. Cocoa butter melts at body temperature, creating the smooth mouthfeel characteristic of authentic chocolate. Vegetable oils remain solid at higher temperatures, creating waxy textures that coat your mouth rather than melting cleanly. This fundamental difference explains why modern chocolate often feels artificial or leaves unpleasant aftertastes that weren't present in traditional chocolate formulations. Beyond texture issues, vegetable oil substitution introduces trans fats, hydrogenated oils, and palm oil derivatives that carry significant health implications. While companies market these substitutions as equivalent or superior to cocoa butter, the nutritional profiles differ dramatically. You're consuming industrial oils designed for shelf stability and cost reduction rather than ingredients selected for flavor, nutrition, or traditional chocolate characteristics. The palm oil crisis deserves particular attention because it affects both chocolate quality and environmental sustainability. Palm oil production drives deforestation, habitat destruction, and climate change while providing chocolate manufacturers with cheap cocoa butter alternatives. When you purchase chocolate containing palm oil, you're unknowingly supporting environmental destruction while receiving inferior products that taste artificial compared to traditional chocolate made with cocoa butter. Industry consolidation has accelerated these deceptive practices as fewer companies control larger market shares. When 3 or 4 corporations control 70% of global chocolate production, consumer choice becomes illusory. These companies coordinate ingredient substitution strategies, lobby collectively for weakened regulatory standards, and maintain artificial price levels that maximize profits while delivering fundamentally altered products to unsuspecting consumers. The regulatory capture affecting chocolate standards represents systematic failure of government oversight designed to protect consumers from exactly these types of corporate deceptions. When chocolate manufacturers successfully lobby to weaken federal definitions of chocolate, when they convince regulators that vegetable oils equal cocoa butter, when they establish legal frameworks that prioritize corporate profits over consumer protection, you're witnessing corruption of systems designed to ensure food safety and authenticity. International standards reveal how far American chocolate regulations lag behind global best practices. European chocolate standards require significantly higher cocoa content, restrict vegetable oil substitutions, and mandate transparent labeling that clearly identifies compound chocolate versus authentic chocolate. American consumers receive inferior products that wouldn't qualify as chocolate in countries with stronger food safety regulations. Every time you reach for chocolate in the candy aisle, you're now armed with the knowledge to spot the deception. From Palmer's sugar compounds to Nestlé's fake white chocolate, from Hershey's waxy reformulations to Lindt's overpriced candy bars, these companies have systematically betrayed consumer trust for decades. Read those ingredient labels, question that premium pricing, choose authentic chocolate from manufacturers who haven't sacrificed quality for profit margins. Your taste buds and your wallet deserve products that are actually what they claim to be.